Good morning. Good morning. For the next 20 minutes, I will be discussing why a risk-based approach should be the one driving your security architecture. The one that focuses more on visibility and detection rather than just pure prevention. So let's take a look at the current threat landscape first. Let's double click on one of the threats that many of us can relate to. Let's look at how the ransomware has evolved. So it started out, or the first recorded ransomware was around 1989. It is called the AIDS Trojan. No? AIDS Trojan, it is distributed via diskettes. Via diskettes, no? So hindi ko na inabutan yung diskettes. Probably most of you here, inabutan yung diskettes, no? Distributed via diskettes, and when infected, it will now encrypt all of your file names, not the files. It will encrypt all your file names, no? To pay the ransom, you need to send a check to a PO box in Panama. That's why the threat actor got apprehended. Remember at that time, there was no cryptocurrency, wala pang, no Bitcoin at that time, right? And then it kind of went silent for a while until around 2012, 2013. 2012, 2013, this is where the innovations came about. This is the year of CryptoLocker. This is the year when the threat actors realized that, hey, I can make money out of ransomware. That's why the innovations came in. The next big year is actually 2016. No? In 2016, the threat actors now started to identify organizations and target key infrastructures, putting the organization at a halt. Because prior to 2016, it is mass market attacks. No, I don't care who gets infected. I don't care. No, as long as the money comes in. No, but in 2016, it's very targeted already. Fast forward to the present, 2020 to the present, what we are seeing are double extortions already. Meaning, I will now encrypt all of your files. If you don't pay me the ransom, I will now get all of your classified data to the internet. It's like weaponizing GDPR already. So that's what we are facing right now. It will continue to grow because it is a lucrative business for the hackers, for the threat actors, right? We were one of the vendors, no, together with other vendors, to take down Angler. That's why we got hold of their logs. Angler, in 1 year, got around 34 million US dollars. Ryuk, around 5.5 million US dollars per year. It is a very lucrative business. No, it will continue to grow. Now, think about all of those organizations that got ransomware. Think about those organizations that got breached, that got compromised. They have next generation firewall, they have IDPS, they have web protection, they have email protection. They have EDR, they have EPP. They have everything, most of them, right? And yet, they were breached. Think about the credit card breaches. Most of them may be PCI compliant, right? PCI compliant. So, now, that's the way of a traditional thinking mindset of an architecture. Meaning, I will buy this tool, I will buy this product to block this particular threat. I am compliant, hence, I am secure automatically. That is the thinking of a traditional mindset. So what are the other thinkings of traditional mindset? No? I will now focus on prevention controls. Prevention alone. Customers will go talk to me. No? I'm a vendor, I sell something. No? They will tell me, Brian, I'd like to block this particular threat, sell me this tool. Automatically. No? I will buy X to block this threat, security as a byproduct of compliance, and worst, hype influence. No? I heard of this new shiny tool that can block 0 day, I will buy automatically. No? The mindset of a defensible security is now I will use risk prioritization and threat modeling to drive my architecture. I will focus on visibility and detection and not just prevention. And that is validated by McKinsey. No? McKinsey told us in a 2019 white paper or document The most sophisticated institutions are moving from a maturity-based to a risk-based approach of managing cyber risk. They describe what is a maturity-based and what is risk-based. No? Yung maturity-based, they go straight to capabilities. No? I have firewall, I have IPS, I have whatever. Oy, next SOC, I will build the SOC. No? And it paralyzed their implementation. It is paralyzing their whole operations. No? Because you need to operate that, remember, and you need to pay that next year, no, for the subscriptions. No? So now what is risk-based? Risk-based is understanding the relevant threats. I will now measure and report the KPI. No? So now, okay, Brian, let's go to risk-based approach. No? But before going to a risk-based approach, you need to have a threat model. No? There are a lot of threat models available out there. No? This is not an extensive list. No? This is not, I'm not telling you that you use this list of threat modeling. No? But this is to let you know that there are threat models out there that you can use. Some definitions, first is that a threat model would profile probable attacks and attackers and identify potential targets. No? This is the list. I will describe some of them on my next few slides. No? But just to highlight, this is a threat model for a smart card. No? For a smart card, it will not only identify itong number 5, no, an insider threat, but also it will now try to look at, no, that, okay, from a smart card manufacturer going to my enterprise customer, someone will be able to intercept my smart cards physically. So you need to look at the whole process, no, and not just focus on insider threats. So some examples of threat modeling. No? This is STRIDE. STRIDE stands for spoofing, tampering, repudiation, information disclosure, denial of service, and elevation. Okay, so this is best used when you are developing an application or software. No? While you are coding your application, you need to take a look at this list of threats and make sure that these are properly addressed while doing the coding itself. No? Yung habang kinocode mo pa lang, you look at these particular threats. So best used for development. Next this is the attack tree. So the attack tree would now list down the conditions necessary for a particular threat to be realized or an attack to be successful. This is an attack tree for OTP. No? I want to compromise an OTP. So the list of things that needs to happen for me to be able to attack or compromise an OTP is listed there. No? Obtain a user ID, obtain token code, and obtain a PIN. No? And naka-end siya. Makikita mo naka-end. This tree needs to happen first. And for me to obtain a token code, or for the bad guy to obtain the token code, one of these things needs to happen. I need to intercept a token code or physically have a possession of the token or calculate a token code. So this one is best used in decomposing and identifying threat vectors. Next is the time-based security model. So this one is very simple. No? The time that a given protection, no, whatever that is, no, protection provides me, yung time na yun, should be greater than the time of my detection plus my reaction. So on a FSI, on a bank, no, yung protection would be the bank vault. The detection would be the sensors. The R would be the response. No? It's very simple. Meaning, yung protection ko, bago mabuksan, before the bad guys can open the vault, I need to be able to detect and respond first. No? Shorter time. Now, if you would get that particular threat model, no, and apply it to APT29, APT29 is one of the threat actors. No? It is also called Cozy Bear. It is related, allegedly, to one of the countries in Europe. So if you take a look at it, a successful attack are series of events. The idea here is to detect the threat before the breakout point. No? This is the breakout point. Usually, it is between the exfiltration of data and the lateral movement. Because anything after the breaking point, it's going to be very hard to detect. It's going to be very expensive to mitigate. So the objective really is to do detection and reaction before the breaking point. So, steps. So how do I now increase my protection time? On step 6, the credential access, this is where the threat actors would do credential dumping. There is a setup in Windows 10 that enables credential guard, no? So Windows 10. So if that is enabled, then you can probably force the threat actors to think of other ways, therefore increasing your protection time, no? If you are able to detect PowerShell initially, no? Doon sa una pa lang, PowerShell, detect process injection, then probably you can decrease your detection time. So again, increasing the protection time and decreasing the detection time. Okay, that's the idea. Last but not the least is the MITRE attack matrix. MITRE is a US-based company, federally funded. They were the ones who provided us CVEs, no? Very familiar to us. And they are also the same set of guys that created the attack matrix. So it's very detailed. This is how the attack matrix looks like. So some of you or most of you will probably be familiar with this one. But the attack matrix is a knowledge base of threats. No? Knowledge base of threats. It is composed of tactics, mga tactics, reconnaissance, resource development, down to exfiltration and impact. No? For each of the tactics, there are sub-techniques, no? Techniques. And each of the techniques would have sub-techniques, no? So, the tactics on top is what? What is the attacker going to do? The techniques would show you how. Reconnaissance, I can do active scanning or gather the victim's source. If I am to focus on one technique, which is valid accounts, the good thing about the attack matrix is that if you double-click on that, it will provide you the sub-techniques. No? So, valid accounts is the technique. You have 4 sub-techniques there, and it will also show you the platforms that are affected. No? In this case, it is the Active Directories, no? Or the sets. No? It also shows you mitigations on how to mitigate that particular threat. No? So, now I am able to do threat modeling. No? So these are the list of threats that are applicable to me. I've listed that down. I know the platforms. Now, I will now move over to the defense. Good thing about MITRE is that they've also released a knowledge base on defense, which is what they call the Defend, no? MITRE Defend. This was just released this year. Again, this is just a knowledge base of the things that I can do to mitigate the threat. No? So it is. These are the list of countermeasures, no, that will mitigate the particular threat. No, so they've listed that down already. So I have the attack on the left side. I have the defend on the right side. No, so now I need to stitch the two, right? So this is where the digital artifacts would come in. No, digital artifacts, because I know what are the threats applicable to me. I know how to defend, and now, so what? No, what am I going to do? No, what am I going to put on my playbook? So this is where the digital artifacts would kind of stitch the two. The digital artifact would describe the link between the attack and the defend. No, for an example, the offensive model is process injection. No, process injection. The process injection would now modify, and nasa taas the relationship, would now modify my process code segment, right? And for me to be able to protect against that, I need to have process code segment verification on my process code segment, right? And these are the things that needs to be on your playbook. And these are the list of logs that needs to be on your XDR, no? Your XDR, for those of you looking at XDR, your XDR will be successful not because you bought the most expensive XDR, but because you put in the right plugs. You ingest the right plugs to your XDR, and that will dictate if your XDR project will be successful or not. It's about the logs, it's not about the XDR. No? Okay, so to be effective, again, it's like doing, having the visibility for the whole threat and early detection. Right? Early detection and contain the compromise before the breakout point. Just like for many of you who have watched Money Heist, no? It's a Netflix. It is easy for the thieves, for the robbers to get in the bank, di ba? But what's harder is actually taking the money out of the bank, right? So the idea really is for you to catch them, not really and go inside the bank, but for you to be able to detect early and mitigate before they can actually take the money out or exfiltrate whatever they are trying to do. As a summary, you need to architect for visibility and detection. Okay? Don't chase other people's boogeyman. No? Do your own threat modeling and ask yourselves, am I driven by press or by my own threat picture? So this is my shameless plug, no? Very quick. You've done your threat modeling. Now I am considering some controls. Cisco Security will have the tools for you from endpoint, network, to the cloud. We have offerings. No? I will not be discussing everything. We also have, aside from the tools and products, we also have services done from SOC playbook and automation. We also offer tabletop exercise and emergency incident response and proactive threat hunting. We will be doing a zero trust guided assessment. This is for free. You just need to register, approach me, give me your calling cards. On the third week of September, we have 10 slots, 4 hours. Send me an email, no? Or approach Trends or approach me. These are my references. And that is my last slide. Thank you and good morning to everyone.